Welcome to Early Years. This next part of the video will explain how we work in early years and it will show you around our nursery and reception classrooms. In early years, both our nursery and our reception unit have an outdoor classroom. This is the nursery outdoor classroom. It's a good space for children for physical development and for all the other areas of learning within the curriculum. It's a place where children can explore and find out for themselves. The reception outdoor area is just next to the nursery classrooms and that outdoor area and backs onto our school field. Again, in the reception outdoor area, it has access, the children have free access to the equipment and the resources, and every area of learning happens inside as well as outside. We always say in reception and in nursery that if the children have had a good day, they'll come home muddy. They'll come home with paint in them or paint in their hair, and that means they've done some good learning that day. We have our own mud kitchen area in the reception area, which the children love exploring and finding out. And a garden area as well. The outdoor area in both nursery and reception are great for physical development because it's one of the main areas of learning, what's called our prime areas that support the children with all their learning, especially with regards to writing. Children need to have the big arm movements before they can really focus on those fine motor skills. Nature and the environment are really important to us in the early years, and the children love to explore and find out for themselves, looking under logs, searching for mini beasts, growing their own flowers and plants, and then exploring about the seasons. In our Atwood nursery, we have two sessions. We have a cohort of children who come for the morning and a cohort for children who come in the afternoon. Some years, like this year, we do have some children who stay for extended hours because we might not be full in the morning or nursery in the afternoon. So therefore children can stay for their lunch with us and can access the 30-hour funding, or parents can opt to pay the additional money for extra sessions. Our nursery has a fully qualified classroom teacher as well as 2 nursery support assistants. The children work in key worker groups alongside their teaching assistant or their teacher. The nursery focuses on the prime areas of learning, which are physical development, personal, social, emotional development, and communication and language. As practitioners, we spend a lot of our time observing the children, working out where their interests are, and then finding out their next steps in their learning. Our curriculum is based on children's interests. So, for example, if a cohort is really interested in dinosaurs, we might follow with that, but also with individuals. If we know there's a child who's interested in trains, then we try and lead their learning, supporting them through trains. We get to know our children over those first few weeks when they first settle in, and that really helps us to build a picture of where our curriculum will go over the year. In Atwood Reception, we have 2 classes. We have red class and yellow class. Each class has its own class teacher and each class has its own teaching assistant. The children have their own class spaces, but they also can share the outdoor learning space, and they have a shared middle space, which is called our creative area. Similarly to the nursery, in reception we spend the first few weeks getting to know the children, finding out what they like and what they dislike, and finding out where they are in their learning journey. We then plan for their next steps in their learning through observing the children, spending time playing with them, and moving their learning forwards. This is a process of an assessment cycle, getting to know your children individually. Like in nursery, we look at those prime areas of learning, really focusing on communication and language, physical development, personal, social and emotional development. And we extend the children's literacy, mathematics, understanding the world and creative development that they have already have a firm basis on from their nursery. Our children in early years have the opportunity to visit our forest school area, which is on our school site. The children go in their key worker groups on an alternate week basis. When they are in forest school, they spend time searching for mini beasts, climbing trees, making shelters and risk-taking in a safe, controlled environment. In both nursery and reception, we use an online learning journal to record the children's next steps in their learning and to record observations of the children. You will have access to this at home so you can see what learning is taking place, and it is a good way for you to share with us the learning that's taking place at your home as well. We also use Google Classroom to share home learning and to share examples of how to teach your child at home. In reception, we teach the children to read and to write using a systematic phonics system. We use Jolly Phonics to support our teaching of our phonics learning. In nursery, we teach Phase 1 phonics, where we focus on rhyming, alliteration, hearing sounds and doing oral blending and segmenting. And then we move into reception, where we learn the letter names and the phonemes, and we learn how to blend and segment the words together. In the September of when your children start school, I run a reading and writing meeting explaining how we teach our children to read and to write within reception and throughout the year. In both nursery and reception, we really value parents as the first educators of their children, and we try and promote strong partnerships between you yourselves as parents and carers and us as the teaching staff. Over the first week or two of term, we do home visits where we come and visit your child in your home and spend time getting to know your child, getting to know their likes and dislikes, and it's a great opportunity for you to ask us any questions. This year in the pandemic, we invited parents in on an individual basis to come and meet us within the school environment. Before your child starts with us next September, we will invite you to attend a new to early years meeting, normally in the June time. This will be a good opportunity for you to meet the teaching staff and to have another look around the school and to find out about how you'll teach your children and how to settle your children in those first few days. In the July time, there'll be an opportunity for you to come in with your child into the setting, into whether nursery or reception classrooms, and for your children to meet some of the other children who might be in their classes. In September, following your home visit, the children will come in for part-time sessions where they'll spend time with meeting their other children in smaller groups. If your child is in reception, they will either do a morning session or an afternoon session. They will then extend this to include their lunch and then extend to a longer session, a longer day, before becoming a full-time. This normally takes around 1 to 2 weeks. We are aware that many of your children may have attended an 8 till 6 childcare provision up until this point, but moving to school is quite a big change and transition for all children, and we feel the staggered process over the first week or two really supports your child in being much more confident when they start school. In nursery, following the home visits, the children will visit for an hour without you to start with, and then we'll increase that to 2 hours before attending their full 3-hour sessions. If your child will be attending for more than 3 hours, then these sessions again will be extended as the time goes on. We're very happy to talk with you when the children start about the settling in process and how it will work for your child, because each individual child is very different and settling in can take longer for some children than for others. We appreciate that this year you may have additional questions following watching our videos. Please feel free to email in or to phone up if you have questions about our early years or about Atwood as a whole, and we will try to answer the questions as best as we can. My name is Kate Standing and I am the early years leader for Atwood and one of the assistant heads here. Thank you for taking this time to watch our video.